last week, I asked a question, and it's a question that I'm sure you ask yourself all the time, ask your children all the time. Do you want to change for the better? And last week, I reminded us of what Joe Dispenza said, Dr. Joe Dispenza. Thoughts lead to choices, choices lead to behavior or actions, and these create experiences which then produce emotions that affect our thoughts. So these emotions will then go back and affect our thoughts. And if a person has 60 to 70,000 thoughts in one day, and he says 90% of the thoughts are the same thoughts as the day before, the same thoughts will always lead to the same choices always lead to the same behaviors create the same experience, and the same experiences produce the same emotions. So, how to get new thoughts? One way is to meditate on new words. So, in the next 3 months, we are studying this book, Aspire, Discovering Your Purpose Through the Power of Words by Kevin Hall. This book contains 11 words, and Kevin Hall shows how these words will become touchstones in personal development and in business. What's a touchstone? A touchstone is a standard or criteria by which something is judged or recognized. So these words will become touchstones in your personal development and in business. And also, he will show you how you can use these words as building blocks for success and inner peace. So today I want to talk about the first word, Genshai. Genshai, Genshai. Kevin Hall recounts how he learned this Hindi word Genshai. He was in Vienna, Austria, with Viktor Frankl's family. Now, Viktor Frankl wrote one of the 10 most influential books ever written, a book called Man's Search for Meaning. And in that book, he said these words: what is to give life must endure burning. What is to give life must endure burning. Now, he walked into a store in one of the plazas in Vienna, and he met the shop owner, Pravin. Pravin was also a famous painter, by the way. Pravin asked him to sign a book called The Book of Greats. And when he opened the book, it had the signatures of Gandhi, Mother Teresa, Viktor Frankl himself, Ray Charles, and many, many celebrities. And Kevin Hall says that he declined to sign the book because he felt he was not worthy to sign that book. Okay. Now you will see incredible things happen. That this stranger comes into the path and teaches this number one word to Kevin. And I would say that it's the law of attraction that brought Pravin into Kevin's path, because Kevin's been on a pursuit to change people's lives. Now, over dinner, Pravin taught him the word Genshai. Genshai is an ancient Hindi word that means never treat anyone in a manner that would make them feel small, including yourself. You should never treat yourself. Another way of putting it is you should never treat yourself or another person in a manner that makes one feel small. So you can see that Genshai in its most complete application means unconditional, brotherly, sisterly love. And Pravin illustrates his first example of Genshai by talking about a beggar. He said if you were walking down the street and you threw a coin into the cup of a homeless person who is asking for money, you would be practicing kindness, generosity, charity. But if you wanted to live in the true meaning of Genshai, you would get down on your knees on the level of the homeless man, look him in the eye, and with both hands extend the coin while smiling. Now, can you imagine the difference in emotion, intention, and love? That is Genshai. Later, referring to Kevin's refusal to sign the Book of Greats, Pravin said to Kevin, Kevin, you are one of the greats. Never treat yourself small again. Because by not wanting to sign the book, he felt he was small. And never treat yourself small again. Practice Genshai with yourself. So the key aspect of embracing this concept of Genshai is, like everything else we talk about in leadership, to start with ourselves. Never treat anyone in a manner that would make them feel small. including yourself. And this is something that I really, really have to practice, especially at home. But coming back to this, treating yourself, not treating yourself small. Be honest. How many times each day do we scold ourselves and say self-critical things that actually diminish ourselves? Do we metaphorically spray graffiti paint on our quiet, deep personal wall, the one that Facebook never sees? The answer is that while I've learned to do this much less than I used to, I still do it more often than I want to. Now, why is this important? Because the way I treat myself reflects the way I will likely treat other people. We don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we see ourselves. So if you ever feel inferior to someone, chances are you will feel superior to others. If you ever feel inferior to someone, chances are you will feel superior to others. Because essentially, you see the world as you see yourself. So to fully apply Genshai, I must start with myself. Genshai says, I am enough. Then the world is enough. So this is, again, practicing the concept of half full, not half empty. Okay? Starting with myself. And so there are 5 affirmations I guess you can make, okay, for yourself. I am worthy. I am capable. I am grateful for gifts of grace given to me to serve and to give others. I forgive myself and others. I trust myself. 5 affirmations that if I believe, I will practice with other people so that you see people as worthy, capable, bearing gifts, forgiving, and trusting. Viktor Frankl has this famous quote, his most famous quote actually, where he said, everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. This is the mindset of a victor, not a victim, because he honors his choice. Now, Genshai has helped leaders have a deeper level of empathy and understanding for people, and through that taught them that we all have something of value to learn from every person we meet. Okay? Everyone has got value, something to learn from them. Let me share 2 more analogies of Genshai from the Bible. Okay? So, do you know Jesus was the Heavenly Father's expression of Genshai to humanity? God reaffirmed the human form that we are all born into. Jesus is God's reaffirmation that being human is no small matter. Being human is significant to God. After all, humans were originally invested with the image of God. And God is determined to prove that that was a worthy investment. Humans were a worthy investment. So then Jesus leaving heaven, the divine, to become human in a manner of speaking, was God lowering down to our level, just like the analogy of the beggar. Lowering to our level, while at the same time, Jesus entering our realm elevates the human condition to God's level. Okay? So not just coming down but to our level, but honoring who we are too. The second example in the Bible is the story of the prodigal son. After the son who left home came to his senses and returned to his father, his own father was already waiting for his return. In fact, he was out there every day waiting, expecting his son's return. And when he did see his son, he did not wait for him to arrive to where he was. Instead, he went to his position. He went to where the son was. He ran to him, and he did so in an undignified manner by racing over and probably screaming of joy. He arrived to greet him face to face, eye to eye, before embracing him. I think you can see that this too is Genshai. I want to say, share with you what Matt Hall from in his website mattmindset.com has to say about Genshai for network marketers. This is what he says. Think about the emotion you feel when someone on your team doesn't follow through with a commitment. It hurts, right? Have you had that happen? I'm sure you have. I've learned through experience that if you respond or reprimand that person in a way that will make them feel small, you're probably not going to like that result long term. Try practicing Genshai with your team members. Remember, you can always teach, clarify, and inspire without attacking, demeaning, or degrading. Never treat someone in a way that will make them feel small. Make others feel big, and they will rise to your expectations. Okay, that's. I want to also share with you what Brandon Steiner. He's a speaker and sales trainer. Okay, he asked Kevin Hall this question: what are the most common mistakes you've seen salesmen make? And Kevin had replied, one common mistake is not practicing Genshai. Don't treat somebody small. Understand your client. Do that homework. Don't go in assuming anything. Respect begets respect. And don't treat yourself small. Oh, another key thing for salespeople to do is to write thank you cards. Write 1 or 2 a day to clients or prospects. It changes everything. So, in conclusion, let me just remind us what Genshai means. Genshai is that ancient Hindi word that means never treat anyone in a manner that will make them feel small, including yourself. Make a commitment to never play small again. So that's the end of today's sharing. Next week we will look at a second word. And I know as I share this word, Genshai, many of you are thinking, I wish James had heard this word, I learned this word and applied this word many, many years ago. But as I say, I will persist and thank God for this opportunity to learn this again.